What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to Omar BYT, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Barcelona News Roundup, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long time since I've done one of these roundup shows, guys. But yeah, man, we are here, and I do have a guest here, guys, live from Coolest Podcast. Big up to you, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me, Omar. I'm excited to be here.
Hey man, listen, I'm excited to do this too, man. Listen, it's actually one of my this is actually one of my favorite people like watching on YouTube, Barcelona fan.
Thank
Very
you. Thank you. I
underrated. On the
appreciate
way
that.
up, guys. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to his channel. Link is in the title, guys. Make sure you guys go subscribe. He does a lot of Barca content just like me. He does live, he does watch alongs as well as news roundups as well, just like I do, guys. So if you guys like my stuff, you're gonna like the stuff that he does. So yeah, we're gonna be running this every single week. So you guys will be seeing this show. It's gonna be part of the like the channel now, guys. So make sure you guys, if you guys like it, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, share this on socials, guys. But yeah, this is the first episode of the Barca News Roundup. And listen, guys, there's a lot of new things coming out of the club, right? There's so many things coming out of the club right now this week that have happened. The latest one, obviously, is this one. Let me quickly put this slide out. Big ups to everyone who's watching. I'm gonna put this out here. Let me put this. Yeah, my internet, my computer is running slow. Basically, it's the Pedri contract. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Pedri. So yeah, there you go. Pedri has signed a new contract with the club till 2030. Quickly, let me pull this up. My internet is running slow. I don't know what's going on. Everything is going crazy. Here we are. There we go. There we go. This is there. Here it is. Pedri signs until 2030. He's officially a Barcelona player for the next 6 years. And look, I'm not going to lie. I am very, 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 very happy to see this. This is the best thing to come out of this whole transfer window for me, right? We've nailed on Araujo, who we're going to talk about next, but we've nailed Araujo, and now this one is for me the biggest one because let's be real, right? Pedri this season, he's arguably been like on the down low our best player. Like he's one of those players who you can't really fault him. Like you can question a lot of the players, their ups and downs, because it's been an up and down season for the team, for the club, but he is not one of them. He's been a player who's been consistently this season giving 8 out of 10s. And the best thing also is the fact that he has not really had injury problems this season, right? That's the best thing to actually come out of this season so far, right? Because we know that Pedri, since I would say 2021, he's been having injuries problems every single season, right? It's been a plague in his time here in the club, right? And this season he's managed to stay fit, and him being fit has actually helped us. He was very, very important. But signing this contract now and sealing him for the next 6 years for me is a good thing, because he's proven every single year that he's just getting better and better and better every single year. He's not slowing down. So keeping him in that midfield, it is integral to our future on where this club, where we're going as a club, where we're going as a team, and also for the future of the club, for Hansi Flick, for his plans. But you talk to me, man. What do you think, Elias?
I absolutely am over the moon over hearing that Pedri has renewed his contract with Barcelona. A no nonsense contract renewal. It was simple. Say, hey, Pedri, we want to renew your contract. Pedri goes, yes, give me the paper, I'll sign it. It's absolutely fantastic to hear that. We're not hearing, for example, news of saying, oh, contract negotiations are going on. No, it was straightforward. Pedri wanted to stay here. And when you want to stay here at Barcelona, it's that simple. You just sign the contract. And when we talk about Pedri, his importance to the team, he's been the best midfielder in the world. I stick by that opinion. I genuinely believe that Pedri, when he is fit and firing on all cylinders, which he has been this season, he is the best midfielder in the world. When you look at the performances that he's been putting in every single week, it's been absolutely amazing. He's been vital and pivotal in that Barcelona midfield. And we could be saying that Barcelona maybe don't have as many goals or create that many chances or have Rafinha firing or the Yamal without the importance of Pedri in that base on the field, who creates so much. And having Pedri stay at Barcelona for so many more years until 2030, absolutely fantastic. Over the moon about that news.
No,
So
for
genuinely
real.
excited.
For real. Listen.
Mhm.
I've always had my stocks on Pedri from the moment he arrived. And you're right. For me, right, if you look at like midfielders like Pedri, his profile, like how many players would you say like in the world are as good as he is and his profile? Like this, like seriously, I'm actually being like genuinely respectful. You guys who are
No,
watching this in the comment section, you guys are free to tell me what you guys think. Like who's honestly a player that you can think of? Like I know people try to put Bellingham in the point, but at the end of the day, I've said it before. Bellingham is not a Pedri. They're not the
not at
same
all.
type of player, bro.
It's two different profiles.
Two different profiles. At the end
Mhm.
of the day, Bellingham is not. I'm not saying that Bellingham is a terrible player. He's not, right? But one thing Bellingham is, he's a goal scoring midfielder. He's kind of like a Gerrard kind of player.
No.
And that's not even a bad thing. I feel like a lot of like maybe some Madrid fans get defensive whenever you talk about Pedri, but I'm sorry, when you talk about Bellingham, Madrid fans, but at the
Mhm.
end of the day, overall as a midfielder, when you ask anyone who watches both of these players, who would you rather have in your team? I've heard non-Barca fans tell me they would rather have Pedri in their midfield
No.
over Bellingham because of basically what Pedri brings. It's about who do you want in your midfield,
Mhm.
not who you want in your squad. Because
Uh-huh.
at the end of the day, yeah, Bellingham has all the goals and assists. But listen, I watch a lot of Madrid games. At the end of the day, Bellingham has also shown that he can go missing completely nothing, doing nothing in the game. Right? The thing with Pedri is one of those players. I've always said if there's one player you can compare him to in that Madrid team, is Federico Valverde. You understand what I'm saying? He's basically
But
their
even
version.
but even then, for example, I would say both players have like different virtues. For example,
Mm,
because when you look at the profile of as we were talking about Bellingham, he is, I would say, a box to box, a box crasher.
mm,
But I still feel the profile of Fede Valverde is different to that of Pedri, because when you look at the profile of Pedri is the exact midfielder.
mhm,
Who I would say controls the tempo of the game, able to pass the ball, able to create. He's a creator. He's more of like a Iniesta, Xavi type of profile rather
mm.
than a Valverde, who I think is a box to box. And when you talk about the essence of a midfielder, I think that encapsulates Pedri so much. And you
Facts.
talked about it. You know, how many like Real Madrid would skyrocket when you have a player like Pedri who is able to create and who is able to do so much. And he's just simply been the best player in the world,
Nah, for
best
real.
midfielder in the world,
Midfielder
basically.
in the world. And
Yeah,
listen,
yeah.
that's something I will stand on. Because this is the
Mhm.
thing. Like, listen, there's a lot of players this season for Barcelona who have definitely stepped up. Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
So many players have stepped up, but so many players have also shown they're not good enough in this team anymore. And we will get into that around the end of the stream. But at the end of the day, for me, when it comes to the Pedri news, it's good news because
Mhm.
he's one of those people I was happy. And also, you just mentioned it, right? We're going to talk about the next person, but
Yeah.
as far as this contract is concerned, this shows you the difference between having a player that wants to stay at the club, is committed 100%, no, like, riffraffs and any of this stuff.
Uh-huh.
You understand what I'm saying? There's a
Yeah.
difference. This guy wants to stay here. He's made it
Mhm.
very clear. This is the club of his dreams. This is where he wants to retire. This is where he wants to play his rest of his career. He's made it abundantly clear to anyone who wants to listen, right? And for me, watching this, which in the way the contract negotiations happen, like, bro, you just mentioned it. There was no talk like, oh yeah, we're opening. Like, there was talks that yeah, we were gonna sign. Like,
Yeah.
apparently after the 101 rule, there was talks that yeah, we're gonna
Uh,
renew Gavi, we're gonna renew Pedri, we're gonna try
yeah.
to renew Araujo. So we knew that we're trying to renew these guys, right? So we already knew. But the fact that today I didn't even know he was gonna sign the contract. I just woke up and I just went to Twitter and then he's already signed the contract,
Yeah.
2030 sealed. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. He
It's
just
that
took this
straightforward.
agent. What was that?
No, it's that straightforward. Like when the player wants to be here, he makes things easy. He's not gonna be negotiating like crazy. And his family, his dreams, everything that Pedri wants to do, he wants to do it at Barcelona, the club that he wants to succeed and have a very very long career.
Mhm.
And that's something that you have to praise from Pedri, because not every single player is going to be like that. Not every player is going to make things easy for the club to renew.
No, for real. For
Hmm.
real. And listen, at the end of the day, happy days for every Barcelona fan as far as this is concerned, right? Good news. Like, this is the best news for me that's come out of this transfer window for us, right? The fact that we've been managed to seal Pedri, and also another one who I'm not necessarily gonna say I'm unhappy that we gave a that we signed a new contract, because I do rate him. But yeah, this guy right here. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. This guy right here. We just talked about how Pedri's basically contract negotiation was very quick. One that wasn't quick was this one right here.
Yeah.
And look, before we go into it, right, we know he signed a new contract till 2031. Great news, right? He's committed to the club. We don't have to worry about, his contract running out and all this stuff happening. However, this is the thing. The contract, one thing we know about this contract is there's so many clauses added to it. Now, Araujo even mentioned about the new release clause, and he says, I don't know anything about the clause for sure. I want to stay here at Barcelona for a very long time. Happy with the renewal. Listen, I'm sorry. You know what's in the contract. We already know. We know what's happening here. But here's the thing for me when it comes to this contract, right? There's too many BS that happened that really ticked me off before this whole situation happened. I'm sure even for you, when you were going into, because I know you were going into it in your channel as well, like there was just some unnecessary stuff that was happening. Now, you could blame so many other people about this. You can talk about, his agent, his people, entourage, all these stuff, right? But as far as his contract clause is concerned, I haven't pulled it up, but we know, I'm sure you know as well as I do, his contract comes with a lot of other stuff with it, right? It comes with the fact that I think he has a release clause next season, which is 65 million, right?
Around the price range. Yep.
Yes, 65, yeah, somewhere like that, right? He has a 60 million release clause, right?
Yep.
Which, by the way, in 2026 will increase to 95 million. That's what the talk is, and apparently it has a termination clause as well. Now, for me, the fact that there's a termination clause for me tells me, yeah, you're happy here. Yeah. You're signing a contract because you want to be here. But then when you are not in the mood, you can just up stick and leave. Like that is what he did earlier this season, right? Let's be real. When that whole situation with the contracting happened, people didn't read much into it, but we kind of knew what was happening. At the end of the day, when it came to Araujo, he came back from injury. And the Barca wanted to give him a new contract. But then he was looking at the fact that the club has so many defenders, and we're already trying to sign new defenders next season with Jonathan Tah and all of that. And he was thinking that the competition was too much. They tried to make it seem like, this was the club that were not respecting him. The club weren't doing this. Bro, I read these news. I read everything that's coming out of the club. I'm one of the first people that will say when a player is being disrespected by the club. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Araujo, what happened to Araujo is he was on top of the world for 2-3 years in the Barcelona team, being our best defender. Every week getting praised by everyone, Barca fans, non-Barca fans, everyone saying, yeah, we'll have him in our team, all of these stuff. And then one game in the Champions League, he has a terrible game, and he gets criticized, and all of a sudden, he just starts getting hyper emotional. And in my head, I'm just like, yo, I understand that you are a prophet, you get criticized. Nobody wants to get criticized, but you're one of the leaders. You're supposed to be one of the leaders. So you understand when you have a poor game, you're supposed to take that blame and say, you know what? That's on me. But no, he didn't do that. And then next season, he got injured for the most of the season. He comes back around December. We're thinking, all right, cool. You're back. Everything is cool. Just train and get back to the first team. And then we'll give you a contract, and you can sign it. If you don't want to sign, that's fine. Basically, the club told him, listen, we're going to offer you a new contract, and if you don't sign it by the end of the season, we're going to have to sell you. Now, the club have their right to do that because his contract runs out in 2026. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he kind of looks at it, and then he's angry at the club, and all of a sudden, he's flirting with Juventus. And for me, when you flirt with Juventus, that's where I knew where your head was at. Basically, you're just happy as long as things are great. When things are hard, you're going to F off. That's what you're going to do. You've already shown it. This clause in your contract tells me what you're going to do. So as much as I'm happy that he's here, I'm not as jubilant as I am with the Pedri situation, because with Pedri, I know Pedri is committed. He is committed. You understand what I'm saying? He's shown that he's committed. But with Araujo, with all of these incentives added into his contract, it's telling me you're committed now, but you're not always. But every season, I'm always going to have to watch the back of my head, because I'm always like, yeah, I don't know if Araujo is going to be committed this season. He might decide, yeah, I've had enough and I'm going to leave. And you're going to try to disrupt the dressing room. But yeah, what do you think about that, bro?
No. with that news discussing a potential release clause, termination clause into his contract, that as you mentioned, it basically leaves the door open to a potential exit in case that things aren't going the way that Ron Rajo wants to. That game against PSG, and on top of that, like the season that he was having in general, I'm pretty sure it hurt him on the emotional level. But as a professional playing for Barcelona, you're at the highest level. Every single professional is going to have those type of games where you do get heavily criticized, and you have to. It's part of the game, like the greats of all time. We talk about Ronaldo, Messi, Zidane,
Continue. I'm listening.
R9. All of these greats, guys, they have been criticized, and for Ron Rajo to say, "Hey, you know what? Maybe that criticism has gotten me too much, and I've just not content with the whole Barcelona situation. Looking as well, have we signed other center backs? Competition is really getting high and everything. That is something that I don't really appreciate from Araujo. But at the same time, I am happy that he's staying at Barcelona because at the end of the day, Araujo, at his very best, he is one of the best center backs in the world, and if not the best. I'm a big fan of Araujo. And I really hope that this season he is able to get back to his very tippity top level, because in these past couple of games we have seen Araujo a little bit shaky. Even in the games against Atalanta, you're thinking, hey, could he have potentially done a little bit better? Even though he's not necessarily at fault for the goals that we conceded, you're thinking, hey, Araujo, he hasn't matched the levels that he has been showing in previous seasons and everything like that. And then you're thinking, hey, when Inigo Martinez comes back, when Andres Christensen is fit again, what are you going to be seeing? Who's going to be the starting center back alongside Pau Cubarsí? When we talk about the overall renewal, I'm very happy that Araujo is staying. I think he is one of the pillars into the team. Just I really hope that he is able to basically get a run of games, recover his form, and basically show that he is among the best center backs in the world. And then right there, when time passes and everything, then we could potentially see all these news of an exit or potential leaving in the summer or everything like that. It's just complete nonsense, because that's what we would really want to see. We'd want a fantastic Araujo stay here for many, many more years.
There you go. I mean, I 100% agree with that point. Listen, let me be clear, right? When I talk about Araujo, maybe people might not understand. The reason for me, I'm very, I guess, like angry with this whole situation is because I was actually a big fan, and I am still a big fan of Araujo, right? I think when Araujo is on his day, on his best, he's our best defender, and it's not even close. Like honestly, he is one of the best defenders in the world when he's on it. But we've also seen, especially, I would say, even in the Champions League, you've seen it. I don't know if you've noticed it, right? He has these moments where he's just been so like, he's just had like his moment, and I'm not. Okay,
it's the Bozo gene. It's the Bozo gene.
There you go. That's the word I was actually trying to look for. He's showing that Bozo gene for me, where I feel like a lot of Barca fans are just happy to see Araujo, but it's like, at the end of the day, you can be happy about a player being there, but also you can criticize them. There's nothing wrong with criticizing a player. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the issue. Big up to Warrior Jam, big up to Sheik for the raid, bro. Oh man, big up to you, Sheik, every single time, brother. Big up to you, Warrior Jam. Listen, big up to everyone in the chat. I've not been reading the chat. I'm gonna read the chat next, but big up to you, Warrior J, and big up to everyone in here who's coming from Sheik TV. Big up to Kashfa, bro, Barcelona fan, another Barca fan in here. Big up to you. But yeah, look, let me tell you something. Honestly, right, when it comes to Barca, when it comes to Araujo, I was just disappointed with how things were handled. But I just hope that we can now go away from this and just focus on your football, because that's what's important. You understand what I'm saying? Just focus on doing your best. Focus on being the best player in the team, on the defense. Because because at the end of the day, I've said it. For me, any player is expendable. I don't care if you start moving like certain ways. You're gonna have to get out of here. And this Sheik, we're not interested, bro. This guy's been trying to say Rashford to me so many times, bro. I'm not interested, bro. I've got flipping Ferran Torres and flipping what's his name in my
well. By Marcus Rashford, I'm against that, because I genuinely think that I don't think Marcus Rashford has shown enough for Barcelona to go after him like that. But on a potential loan, hey, I'm open to that. I'm open.
Yeah. Loan, okay, loan. I might hear loan. Hear loan, but I'm not hearing like staying here for bro. Nah, hell no, bro. Come on, man. Listen. I've already dealt with. I'm dealing with Lewandowski acting, bro. Did you see Lewandowski yesterday, bro?
Oh my
Nah,
god,
man, bro.
so
Listen,
frustrating, so frustrating.
he's. I'm not gonna lie, bro. He's done out here. But look, at the end of the day, yo, big up to Touchline, bro. He says, "Who's the only team in top five leagues who's unbeaten in Europe this season? None. Wait a minute. Is there not in the Champions League? Because
I
Liverpool
don't think
lost
so.
yesterday.
No,
Liverpool lost
no, but they
yesterday.
even lost in the league and
No,
everything.
but in Europe, in Europe,
In Europe specifically, I don't think so. I think every single team has
it's in
dropped
the
points.
Europa League. Let's check. I think it's United. I think it might be United. You know. Yeah, I think it is
United.
United. I think United are the only team in Europe in the Europa League. They're unbeaten in the Europa League.
Oh, okay. No, no. See, because initially I was thinking like he was taking like
Oh yeah, there
the
it is. Yeah, they're unbeaten. It's true. It's third. They're third. They're unbeaten. Oh yeah, Sheik says loan rent for free, whatever you want, my brothers. Hey yo, listen. I hear the whole. I hear bring him on loan. Listen, if he plays well on loan, maybe we might consider
No,
buying him.
but the thing is, like, that's not gonna happen. Ansu Fati, he's decided to stay. So any news of a potential Marcus Rashford coming in to Barcelona, that's
Mm.
the door is closed until we see a departure. That's not gonna happen.
Facts. And also, listen. Now let's just go to another point that I'm actually gonna get into right now. First of all, before I talk about this, right? Because this just came out recently, about a few
Hmm.
minutes ago, right? The first thing I want to talk about is Christensen, bro. Have you
Hmm.
seen that this guy is out for another 3 weeks?
Yeah, yeah. Unlucky,
Like,
unlucky for Christensen.
I actually feel bad for him. And
Hmm.
here's the thing. I know with a lot of Barca fans, they're like, "Oh, he's injured again. Get rid of him all."
Hmm.
Look, I'm very disappointed because for me, he's been handling because he's been linked out of the club for a long time, right?
He has.
And throughout this time, he was being linked. We never heard anything from him. We never heard his agent say anything. He has been very calm, trying to get back on the pitch, trying to get back to fitness, trying to just do his thing on the pitch, right? But because of everything that's been happening with his injuries and stuff, like it's unfair to him, man. Because I genuinely do believe that if Christensen returns, he's our second best center back.
Yeah.
Because he's Mr. I call him Mr. Reliable, bro.
Yes.
He does not have a bad game. Like he's been at our club now for 2 years. I have not sit here and said, "Yo, Christensen that one game had a poor game." This guy
No.
doesn't have a poor game. He has a 7 out of 10 every single day.
Yeah.
No mistakes, no errors in the back, none. And
Hmm.
he's just having his injuries, and he's been linked at the club. Now you've seen today, Saudi Arabia, apparently looking at exploring the possibility of bringing him in.
Hmm.
Um, Listen, Saudi are going crazy in this end of the transfer window. They've
They
already
are.
signed John Duran. They're trying to
Unai
sign Bayena.
Hernandez.
Oh my God, bro!
They signed Unai Hernandez.
Who?
Unai Hernandez, our
Yeah,
Barcelona.
our boy. Yeah, our
Yeah.
youth. What's his name? B captain.
Yeah.
He's gone to Al Ittihad, the Benzema's team. Look,
Hmm.
I'm listen. At the end of the day, go get the bag, man. I'm not one of these people that I'm like, oh, it's ruining his career. Listen, at the end of the day, there's a lot of good young players that are going down there. So at the end of the day, bro, go get the bag. But look, when it comes to Christensen, I just feel bad for him because he. I wanted to see him this season, man. I
Yeah.
genuinely think if he comes back, if we can have him, Araujo, Kobashi, Inigo, bro, I think our defense will be sorted. And also, you will have so many options to basically, change the defense every single
Yeah.
week, right?
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm a big fan of Andres Christensen. I think, as you said, he's Mr. Reliable. He rarely goes under a 7 out of 10 performance. I can't even remember, let's say, like a bad game
Mm.
from Andres Christensen. And that's something that, you say that's a very, very good because, as a center back, your job isn't to score goals. Like, you don't need to be amazing. You just need to make zero mistakes. Say,
Yep.
hey, you make zero mistakes, you're professional, you put in a good performance, and there you go out. But obviously, the injuries and everything they have hampered Christensen's career and everything. And when we obviously know that he has come into Barcelona on a free and
Mhm.
looking at the interest abroad, any money that Barcelona get for him, it's going to be straight profit. It's going to be straight profit. It's going to go into the books, and obviously, on top of that, you look at the center backs available. You're thinking, hey, if we can sell a player, if we can make some space, who can we let go of? And Andres Christensen is one of those options. He uh, gets injured. We are having overbooking in the center back department, and we'd be getting just straight profit for him. Which obviously, when Barcelona looks at things, it is a good business move. But looking at it, you do want to see Andres Christensen part of the squad.
Nah, for real, for real. And listen, at the end of the day, this whole thing about the Saudi thing just came out a few hours ago. Now,
Yeah.
listen, I'm not. I feel like if the rumors had to be basically coming out of the club, is Barcelona looking at bringing Jonathan Tah next season. Now, it seems that the docs are tomorrow. Gavi and Inigo Martinez could be signing new contracts. So Inigo clearly has proven himself under Hansi Flick, and Hansi Flick wants to keep him now, right? So we have Inigo, we have Kobashi. Eddie Garcia is still at the club, but I think he might be sold in the summer. It wouldn't surprise me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly. If we still get Jonathan Tah, that's a lot of center backs. So I feel like maybe a center back will have to be sacrificed, and I think maybe one or two of them. So listen, I feel like it depends on what offer did the Saudi give us. Because if let's say Saudi decide to offer us like 40, 45 to 50 million for Christians, I think the club will take it. They will take it.
They will, but something to keep in mind is that since Andres Christian has just picked up that injury, he's not going to be leaving.
Exactly, that's the thing. That's why I said they will take it.
Yeah, everything that we're discussing would be geared towards the summer transfer window, and then with watching Christensen be now for 3 weeks, he's gonna be back by mid-February around there, and hopefully he's able to have some run of games, and we'd be able to see how Andres Christensen works under Hansi Flick, and who knows, maybe it's not Andres Christensen who leaves, but Eric Garcia potentially. We'll have to see.
No, you're right. You're right. And look, at the end of the day, if it comes between the two of them, I'll keep Christensen. I know people are gassed about Eric Garcia's game against Benfica.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it's gonna take 1-on-1 game for me, right? And listen, he hasn't even in the game against Atalanta. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Bro, I didn't even know he was on the pitch. I genuinely, I'm not even kidding, bro. I watched the whole game. Like, I'm like, yo, I was seeing Gunde in the center back area. Where the hell was Eric Garcia?
Yeah. When you look at both of the two players in regards to Christensen and Eric Garcia, I view Christensen as better. I think he can offer you a little bit more quality in that position.
Yeah, for sure.
But I view Eric Garcia as having more ambition. I think he wants, looking at the two players in their careers, they're in different spots. Eric Garcia much younger. You do see him with an intent to say, hey, I want to be starting every single game. I have an ambition to go win trophies and everything. And when you have a Pau Cuarci, who's not going to be dropped, when you have Inigo Martinez playing at a phenomenal level, Araujo as well, Christensen, you even have Jules Koundé if you want, and to shift him into the center back spot. We have a lot of competition. And so when you talk about the possibility of either of the two players leaving, you do view Andres Christensen with a little bit more eyes and say, hey, he has more doors open potentially.
Facts. Yo, listen, make sure you guys smash the like button. All of the people who are here from Chic TV. Because once again to Chic for the raid. Because to every one of you guys, 18 people in here, make sure you guys like the video. And make sure you guys subscribe to Kool-Aid's podcast, guys. The channel is on the title, guys. Make sure you guys go subscribe to one of my guys, up and coming guys. Make sure you guys go and watch his product. Because if you guys like my stuff, you're going to love his stuff as well. But look, I do want to talk about something else that's actually coming out of the club, right? It's about this guy who looks like he definitely has no future at the club, according to everything that we're hearing. Our little friend, man. Oh man, this guy it actually makes me sad actually talking about him, bro. So listen, it's no secret that apparently Hansi Flick has made it clear, the club have made it clear. It seems that Ansu Fati doesn't really have a future at the club, and we know that there are some clubs that are interested in him. Sevilla in the beginning of the transfer window looked like they wanted him on loan. I think Betis were also interested as well. Recently, I think a few hours ago, I heard Ajax might be interested, which I think would actually be a great move for him in the Dutch league. It's a much slower league, in a league where they play a similar style to Barca. I feel like maybe there, if he can gain fitness, get back to 100% and score a lot of goals down there, he might get his confidence back. Right, I'm all open to that, but this is actually just news that's come out like a few minutes ago, coming out of the club. Right, Besiktas are interested in Ansu Fati, and basically the club have already made contact with Jorge Mendes, Ansu
Mhm.
Fati's agent, right? And they're trying to strike a deal before deadline, which is tomorrow. Um, Look, first of all, what do you think about this potential deal happening, or where would you prefer him to go if you were Ansu?
I view this whole Ansu Fati situation very sad because this was supposed to be our next star. This was the Lamine Yamal before Lamine Yamal, basically. He was he carried the number 10, supposed to be this next upcoming star,
He was
but
incredible, man. The
yeah,
point is, like, it's just crazy to think, right? If
um,
we had, imagine if we had a fit Ansu Fati and a fit Yamal in our wings. Oh
yeah,
my!
and Ansu Fati pre-injury,
Pre-injury
Barcelona,
Ansu Fati
yeah,
and Rafinha and Lewandowski and Yamal in the same 11.
that would be deadly. That would be deadly, and it
That's why it
literally
makes me
says
sad, bro. That's why it makes me sad because Ansu was one of my favorite players, bro. I'm
yeah.
sad that this is injuries have ruined this kid's career, man.
No,
But yeah, go ahead.
it has, and when you're the club, you have to be realistic. The Ansu Fati of old is not the Ansu Fati of now. When you look at Ansu Fati right now, he doesn't have the same speed, the same explosive nature, and even then, like he wasn't really relying on his physical attributes, even though they were very good. But that ruthless finishing, which was I would say his best aspect, is not there. And obviously, if I'm Ansu Fati, I am looking for minutes. I would leave Barcelona.
Right.
Just I don't know how many more hints or let's say indications Hansi Flick and the club is going to give you because you're not playing at all. You're not playing at all and under zero circumstances. Valencia 7-1 victory. You're bringing on everyone from the bench. Your Hector Ford, your Pau Victors, your Paulo Torres in the game against Atalanta. Even in the last couple of seconds, you bring on Paul Victor and Ansu Fati. He's just not in Hansi Flick's plans. And when you're Ansu Fati, I understand that you have the desire to succeed at Barcelona. But I just see it as him sticking to that contract that Barcelona gave him so many years ago, because he knows you're not going to be being paid that amount of money. And I understand that you'd want to succeed, but I just don't think it's realistic. I say, you show the hunger. Say, hey, I want to succeed. I want to show that I can be here, but at a different club. Go to Ajax, go to Besiktas, whatever it is, and say, hey, you know what? Barcelona, I'm showing the level because even in Brighton, he didn't even play, and when
Yeah,
he did
he
play, it
wasn't
wasn't
fit down there either. Exactly.
exactly. He's just. I feel he's staying because of that contract.
I mean,
I
that's the
view
thing.
it
Pick
as
up to
that.
Sam in the chat. He's saying he won't leave. He earned 13 million. You see what I'm saying? You're right.
Yeah.
The guy. Look. I don't want to feel like he's going. He's just staying here for the money. It's a sad state of affairs if that's what he's staying here for. But look, at the end of the day, when it comes to Ansu, I feel like maybe he wants to still succeed at the club. Now, the way I see it is, if now Barcelona in the past, they used to do this. You sell a player and have a buyback clause in the contract in case
Yeah.
he becomes great, and sign him back in the future, right? You did it
Hmm.
to Denis Suarez in the past, right? I feel
Hmm.
like when it comes to Ansu, that's kind of what he needs to do. If he feels like he wants to prove the club wrong, well, then listen, you can leave the club and then tell the club, listen, I'll leave as long as there's a buyback clause in my contract. Meaning that if I prove myself and you guys and I'm good enough, I can come back to Barcelona. You understand what I'm saying? And I
Hmm.
feel like the club will be open to that because I feel like maybe there's a lot of people in the club who still believe in Ansu. They just feel like maybe Ansu Fati is just, they don't want to just rely on him. You feel me, right? They don't just want him to be dead weight in the squad, right?
No, but even then, for example, when you look at Ansu Fati out on the pitch, does he show that desire to, let's
Yeah.
say, to like he does? He is not a Fermin who is running around like crazy, or a Ferran who in training, they talk about he's absolutely killing it. You don't see these reports. It seems like he's content at just being in the squad and everything. And if you're Ansu Fati, you should be showing a desperate desire to show to succeed and everything, and he's not doing that.
Yeah.
He's generally not doing that, and so that's why I view it that he's staying at the money. Because if he did, he'd say, Hansi Flick, you're not playing me, fine. You're not playing me, I'm gonna go to Ajax. I'm gonna show why
Yeah,
I'm
go.
going to
Yeah,
succeed.
exactly. There
but
you go.
he doesn't. So it's
Nah,
very
for
sad
real.
what happened.
For real,
Just
for
sad.
real. Big up to Sam says even Ferran Torres has been playing. Yeah, Ferran Torres. Listen, I'm not a big fan of Ferran. I've already made it clear. But listen, credit where credit is due. He has been stepping up. And listen, I'm all for him starting over Lewandowski right now. I don't care, man. Like no, I'm being that serious. The guy comes in every single game now. He's improving, bro. Since the end of last year, December, he's not been putting up any foot wrong. Big up to Sam says buyback clause, forget it, forget it. The board would rather sign Leia or Nico Williams or then bring Fatty back. I mean, look, at the end of the day, let's just assume, right? Because
Okay.
we've seen this happen where players have gone to Ajax, right? Let's say Ajax, he does decide to go to Ajax. Ajax, for some reason, bro, they're very good at like rejuvenating players' careers. If he actually goes there, let's say he bags in like 20, 25 goals, 3 seasons, right? He's what, 21, 22.
He's
So
22. So
so if he's
22.
like 25 and he's still bagging 22, bro, not only Barcelona will want to sign him, other clubs will be looking at him saying, yo, listen, this guy has not been having injury problems for the past 2, 3 years, and he's now back to being his best. Maybe we should
Mhm.
actually sign him. And maybe Barcelona might say, you know what it is? It wouldn't bad to actually have him as a squad deb, you know? Imagine having
Mhm.
actually an actual fit Ansu Fati scoring goals, bagging goals every single week. That's a good option for sure. Big up to
No,
Nick every single
but
time.
sorry to interrupt, but right here, I'm looking at Ansu Fati's minutes in the past 3 months. He has 28 minutes against Barbaros, which was in the Copa del Rey. 28
But
minutes.
that's
He didn't
just
even
yeah.
start. He didn't even start. Then you have to go all the way to the start of November against Real Sociedad. He played 21 minutes. And then from then on, you had to go to Espanyol, which is against November the 3rd, 5 minutes. And then October against Bayern, 5 minutes.
I think his
So
last
he
start was for Sevilla, wasn't it? When we played Sevilla and we beat them 5-1. I think that was the last time he started for Barca.
the last
Check.
time he started for Barcelona. Let me look at right here. The last time, yeah, so against Sevilla. So
Sevilla, the
71.
5-1, yeah. That was the
Yeah,
game that was the last time he started for the
the
club. And you're
tw-
right.
the 28th of October. You have to go back 4 to 5 months to see that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he clearly doesn't have a future in the manager's plans. And at the end of the day, I just feel like he's stunting his growth. Because I feel like, listen, at the end of the day, you're not even like, bro, you're not even 25, bro. You've
Yeah.
got so much time. Like, you still have so much time, bro. Just like try to rejuvenate your career for the sake of your career. I feel like with some of these footballers, they need to understand, bro, football is short. And when it comes to these clubs, bro, yeah, they're loyal to you while you're professional, while you're a player. But when it's time to be when it's time for business, these clubs, bro, they don't care about you. You got to get that, man. At the end of
No.
the day, I'm not saying that you have to always follow the money. But my point is this: if you want to have a career in the top echelons of football, you need to understand that football is a business. And at certain points, as a professional, there's gonna come points when you're gonna have to start thinking about yourself. This is why, for me, I don't have a problem when players go to Saudi Arabia. There's a lot
Mhm.
of people that criticize when they go to Saudi. I'm not one of them. I don't criticize anyone because I'm like, listen, man, football is a short sport. Go out there and get the bag, man.
Yeah.
You're putting money for your family, your family's family, your like 3 generations of family right there. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing, man. At the end of the day, I'm all for it. And listen, at the end of the day, it can't go one way over the other. Like I know I'm one of these people that say, listen, I'm always supporting the club over the player. I'm one of those people. But here's the thing with me, man. At the end of the day, I'm not judgmental. You understand what I'm saying? If a player focuses on their career over the club, you got to do that, man. Some of the best players in
Yeah.
the world always got to take a look at themselves, man. That's what it is. Because
Mhm.
these players have lives outside of football. But yeah, big up to Oscar. He says, "Who's your ideal goalkeeper target?" Yo, this is actually a very good question because we need a
Mm.
new keeper next summer,
I
bro.
agree. I agree. I
Like
agree.
who
Ter
down
Stegen
there?
has been a liability for many, many years. I've been heavily critical of Ter Stegen.
Mm.
Ever since that 2019 season, I've just been get him rid, get him rid. Because even though, for example, Ter Stegen can have great, campaigns in La Liga, for example, you saw that in the season where we won La Liga and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a keeper that I've seen in the biggest of moments. He just doesn't make those clutch saves that, for example, a Thibaut Courtois, El Dibu Martinez, keepers that
Yes.
win you games single-handedly in the biggest of occasions. Just I view Ter Stegen with that fragility, and then you see a paragraph on what's it called on his social media account saying, "Hey, next year we're gonna do better." What happens next year? We get eliminated. What happens? 3 shots, 3 goals. and then it repeats and
Even
everything.
the season, if you look at his save conversion, like his save percentage is very low.
Yeah,
Like, don't get it twisted. Before his injury, I was actually one of the people who was like, yo, get him out,
yeah.
because I was one of the people who defended him at the start of the season, where I was saying, listen, just again, people get criticized, but listen, man, he's still doing his thing. He's not a bad keeper, but yo, when I watched him like for the first like 5 games, I was like, nah,
No, no,
nah, bro, nah, bro. Listen, you're good at your feet, but your hands are for decorations, bro.
no.
Seriously, bro.
I've been saying this for many years. Like for the games against Real Betis, the games in La Liga are not going to mask the performances that you've been putting in the biggest of occasions.
For
And
sure.
obviously, my view for the goalkeeper position is that we do need to reinforce that position. But I'd say we have a replacement in the academy in Diego Cochin.
Mm.
I've been seeing some very good reports. People are talking crazy about him, saying, "Hey, this is the Ter Stegen replacement." Let's see if that's actually the case, because I would much rather reinforce the attack, a left winger, for example. Maybe look at the fullbacks as well, or if not,
Mhm.
stick with Chesney. I view Ter Stegen's
I'm
future
not
as
gonna lie. I was all for the Chesney stick with Chesney thing until recently, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Recently, this brother has been sus as hell, man.
he has,
Absolutely sus, bro.
but
Dude, I'm
for
not gonna lie.
example,
Like, on his feet, this guy is so terrified. Do you see the way he's like when you pass him? You can see
no,
he's like rattled. Like
no.
like even his saves, like don't worry, his with his hands, he's great. I even said yes.
No.
I'm like, bro, we have two goalkeepers who are fit right now, right? One of them is good with his hands and not good with his feet. There's one that's good with his feet and not with his hands. It's actually like, bro, what is going on? Like,
No,
yo, it's like it's just a best of a bad bunch, really.
no,
But
I agree. I agree.
yeah, look up to Sam. Says Sam says, would you like to sign Brighton's goalkeeper and retire Ter Stegen, sir? Retire Chesney again, Sir Ter Stegen, keep Iñaki Peña. Yo, actually, this goalkeeper, I've heard a lot about him. This, I think is he Belgian
No,
or Polish?
he's Dutch. He's Dutch, I think.
Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, listen. I think when it comes to Barca, Barca always started to look for an ideal goalkeeper. So they're looking for a goalkeeper who's good with his feet, good with his hands. So you don't just have to be good with your hands, right? Because that's why Barcelona didn't go for a guy like De Gea when he was available. Because at the end of the day, yeah, he's good with his hands. He can make great, incredible saves. But dude, this guy can his feet. He can do none with his feet. But yeah, big up to Sam again. Says this team needs a new goalkeeper, a striker, a left winger, and a right back, and a left back, and a defensive midfielder. Bro, we need. There's still a lot of things in this team that we need to fix for sure. You see Chesney. Yeah, Lord have mercy. Exactly, bro. Chesney Chesney yesterday was terrifying me, bro. He says Ter Stegen will be the downfall of Flick if we don't sell that fraud. I mean,
I
yeah,
agree.
man. Listen, I agree. I think that we should definitely move on. We should definitely move on from Ter Stegen. In fact, we should move on from all three our keepers. I don't mind having Pena as long as he keeps his backup area, because I feel like that's his main thing in team. But as far as like Ter Stegen and all of them is concerned, yeah, we need a new number one for sure. But yeah, let's talk about this one. And yeah, this is probably gonna be the last thing we're gonna talk about before we do wrap up. Oh God, I hate talking about this dude. But yeah, here it is, man. La Liga president Javier Tebas says he's against the Spanish National Sports Council allowing Dani Olmo to be registered by Barcelona. And the process is underway to reverse the decision. Listen, okay? I'm just gonna say this before I let you go off. The first video I ever made on my channel? 3 years ago now, 3 years ago, and I made a video, right? My first ever YouTube video on Omar BYT. It's still there. You can go check it. Let's talk about Javier Tebas. That's what it's called. I talked about this man, and I talked about this man's obsession with being the main character. The main character syndrome that this brother has. This guy is so obsessed in wanting to be on everything, especially when it comes to Barca, bro. Like this brother, bro, he cannot shut the hell up or just do whatever he has to. He has to let everybody know this is what I plan on doing and basically make it all about him. I have never seen a president be so self-obsessed with themselves that they will always put themselves first. Because this man right here, right, he's the worst thing to happen to La Liga. Forget about Barcelona. You want to know why I hate this man? It's not just because of this. I saw what the next thing he said during this same, I think, conference where he talked about the Alejandro Balde situation at Getafe.
No.
And I swear to God, that was the one that genuinely triggered me when I saw it. I was like, you see you, yeah, you, right? I swear to God, you're just typical. You're like one of these typical old school dickheads, right? Who just sit there, right? Who live in the past, bro. You live in this idea. You think this is the 1980s, bro. You understand what I'm saying, right? You don't want to move in with the times. This guy has put a salary cap in the league, which doesn't just affect Barcelona, it affects every team in the league. People think that Madrid, oh, he's a Madrid fan, so Madrid, bro. Even Madrid don't like this guy. Like, what's his name? Valentino Perez always talks shit about this guy every time he has a chance to. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Because he understands, bro. If you look at Real Madrid, they want to sign, go and sign superstars. They can buy superstars because they will hit the salary cap and they will have to start deregistering some players. It's an absolute disgrace. If you look at what's happened to this league, people say that the reason, oh, he's doing the salary cap is to just protect the teams in the league. BS! He is not protecting this league. Let me tell you something about this league, right? This league once had not, it wasn't just Barca and Real Madrid. Atletico were one of the teams, big teams. Valencia, Deportivo, Real Betis, Zaragoza, what's his name? Who else? Who else am I missing? There's a lot of teams, even Celta de Vigo in the past, right? Malaga. There are like so many teams that have been having potential to be great. And all of those teams, apart from Barcelona and Real Madrid, every single one of those teams has gotten relegated in the second division or about to get relegated. But yeah, he's apparently doing what's best for the league. Look at what's happened to Valencia, bro. Look at what's happened to Valencia. This once great club that had so many great players, that had players like David Silva, David Villa, flipping Dani Parejo in their team, Pablo Aima in their team, right? The team that won the champions, that were in the Champions League final 2 years in a row. The team that won La Liga, that was once, bro, a regular La Liga challenging team. This team now is bottom of the table, conceding 7 against Barcelona. This is La Liga today, bro. I've said this so many times. If you look at La Liga 20 years ago and look at the teams that were challenging for top 4, look at how many of those teams are still challenging top 4 right now. Look at how many of them have gotten relegated since. Deportivo have been relegated since 2017. We've still not seen them in the league. This is a team that won the league in the year 2000. This is a team that was Champions League semi-finalists in 2004. But guess what, bro? They are in the second division. But yeah, apparently he's doing what is best for the league. People don't even realize, bro. It's things like this that you're seeing right now. This deregistering, ruining players' moves and all of this stuff. That's the reason why clubs are no longer, clubs constantly are declining. Because they can actually go out and buy the players that are going to improve them, because they're going to hit the salary cap and they can register these players. But this brother wants to sit there and say this. And to make it worse, he talks about the Alejandro Balde situation, say, oh, why we didn't hear any racist, we didn't hear any racist chants. Only Alejandro Balde heard. Oh, really? Really? I'm sorry. What about the other Barcelona players who were saying we heard the same thing? Were you even in the stadium to even see that? You see this guy here, I flipping hate this man. Because even this whole racist situation, forget about Barca, bro. Even the way he handles the Vinicius situation is an absolute disgrace, right? Every single time, right? Every single flipping time, Vinicius gets racially abused. Oh, it's a Vinicius problem. Yeah, I agree. Vinicius is a rattler. He's an instigator. But bro, I don't care, man. There's no excuse to racially abuse anybody. You understand what I'm saying, right? You do these things every single time. Look at guys like Dani Alves, the way they were treated. We all remember the famous video of Dani Alves and the banana picture in the what's the name? Villarreal Stadium.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying?
Saw that. Yeah, we saw
Every
that.
single time, bro. And all of this has been happening during this brother's reign. But this man is so obsessed with wanting to keep the rules that he's created. He doesn't want to even go and fix the problem. He's more interested in going to court, taking us and actually deregistering our player, than actually going out and actually dealing with the real problems in Barcelona, in the league. Like, why is the fact that these clubs are declining every single year? Why is it that racist abuse are happening in the league and nobody's doing anything about it, apart from, oh yeah, we're going to give you guys a 3-game ban, or we're going to give them a fine. 3-game ban? Give me a break, man. This continues to happen every single year. And I'm sorry I'm going up, but dude, I've had enough. This man is an absolute disgrace. And the fact that there are apparently there's La Liga teams that are actually coming out and actually voting for this guy to not only stay but to have a wage increase. And apparently Real Madrid is one of the only teams apart from another club who's against him getting a new increase in his salary. I'm like, bro, you're getting a salary increase. That is so flipping hilarious, bro. That is so
It's
ironic. The fact that you're putting a salary cap, but you're insisting on a salary raise. Give me a break, bro. I've had enough. This guy is an absolute disgrace. And I hope Barcelona is the other team with Real Madrid who are against this brother staying, bro. Because this guy needs to go. This guy needs to go for the best of the league and for the future of La Liga, bro. Because this league is going to die, bro. Teams we're losing some of our childhood teams, even teams like Atletico. People think, oh, Atletico in a good area. Listen, you see Atletico where they are now. This is where Valencia were 20 years ago. Nobody would have ever thought Valencia would be in a relegation fight. But guess what, bro? They're bottom of the table. The owners that they have absolutely ruined their club. And all of that has happened during when Tebas' time at the club. It's an absolute disgrace, man. I've had enough. But yeah, man.
I completely agree. Can you name me the president of the Premier League? Can you name me the president of the CDA? Can you name me the president? Do you even know who runs these
bro, I'm
federations?
dead serious. I don't know who these people are, bro.
Precisely. Why is it that everyone knows who the president of La Liga is?
Main character syndrome. I just said that's why I called him main character, bro. He wants his name. That's why, bro. This is why they always talk about Tebas. He wants his name out there. He wants to be famous. This guy is so self-obsessed, bro. Absolutely.
You think you'd want the best players to play in your league. You'd want Dani Olmo to play for Barcelona. Hey, you want all these fantastic players to play. But no, what are you trying to do? You're actively trying. And even then, for example, you not only to mention his absurd words that against Baldo, because I just read what he said. Just, are you serious? Are you kidding me? Like, you're actually saying that he's just like lying or something? Like that he just heard it like out of nowhere. It's ridiculous from then on. But even then, just actively trying to ruin a club and just changing the rules every single time in order to make things more difficult for Barcelona, that's ridiculous, man. And we talk about as well, and he comes out in the media and says how much, hey, I'm a huge Real Madrid fan. I'm happy to see Real Madrid doing well. You know, why? Like, why are you coming out into the media and saying these things? You know, as the president of La Liga, you should be like have zero affiliation to any of these teams.
Bro,
you know,
we know every one of these owners, right? Even in Premier League, the Premier League owner, I'm sure he supports a Premier League club. But guess what, bro? Nobody knows and nobody cares. Because once you start telling people this is the team we support, guess what, bro? Fans of opposing fan are always going to be looking at that club and looking at the decisions that always look at that club and say, oh, wait a minute, what are you going to do about this? Because bro, I swear to God, this man, right? I'm sick to death of this guy, bro. I'm sick to death of this guy. Like, bro, why? I don't understand. Like, what is it that this man? What is this man doing to actually make people still support him?
In order to register Dani Olmo, Barcelona, they literally had to go to the Spanish government. And not La Liga in order to get him registered. That's
Look
how
at
much.
This what Sam says here. This point is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Where was Tebas when we were spending over 300 million on 3 players?
Nowhere to be seen. And in fact, they were actually good friends. Imagine that.
Oh yeah. The guy who's basically ruined my club. You're best friends with him. It's funny, bro. When Bartomeu was doing, bro, you know what's crazy? When Sandro Rosell went to prison, this brother was still the president. How did Rosell get away with all of those things while this guy was in charge? It's so crazy, right? This man now wants to be active now, but bro, for 10 years, you were never active. I didn't even know who you were until 2021. You were always quiet, bro. You were just sitting there saying nothing as my club was slowly getting destroyed. No. But now all of a sudden, my club is trying to rebuild itself, and now you're trying to put all these stumbling blocks in the way.
No. It's ridiculous, man. It's absolutely shameful. Shameful.
No, it's absolute disgrace, bro. Absolute disgrace. And listen, at the end of the day, this is La Liga for you, man. This is La Liga for you guys. We're just screwed. We're just screwed, man. At the end of the day, Barcelona, and even in the league, forget about Barcelona, because people think Barcelona are the only ones. Bro, I remember I saw one, apparently even in the day, I think Getafe, this happened to Getafe in the past, where they had what's his name? Pedro Leon. They signed Pedro Leon and they couldn't register him, and he ended up being a free agent after they
Mhm.
signed the player, bro. I'm like, bro, are you actually taking the piss? You know how all these clubs that have salary caps, you know where their leagues, how their leagues are doing? Like, MLS
You just have
one.
to look. You just have to look at how at the spending of all these different teams compared to, for example, let's say the Premier League or any of this. Hey, Javier Tebas, when you look at the amount of money that the Premier League is spending, and you're thinking, hey, we're the best league in the world, how are you going to try to stay on par with them when you see teams like I don't know, Nottingham Forest outspending teams like Barcelona, Atletico Madrid? When you see teams in the bottom half of the Premier League who are basically throwing cash around, when you're seeing players, Mason Mount going for 70 mil, when you see Anthony going for 100 mil, Tebas, what are you doing in order to counter that? How are you, empowering these La Liga teams in order to compete better in the European stage, rather than financially handicapping them?
Bro,
Yeah, it's nonsense.
I've heard enough, bro. Honestly, I've had enough. People, it's like, yo, people just think, it's funny because Barcelona fans are usually the ones that are always talking about this. People think, oh yeah, it's Barcelona. Of course, you guys are the ones talking about it because you're the ones that are affected. Are we the only ones that are affected? Because you think we're affected, bro. We're fine. We're in the Champions League every single year. We still won the league titles. We're still winning trophies despite everything this brother's been doing. You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah, we are not who we used to be, but we're still doing better than 99.99% of the league. You understand what I'm saying, right? Look at another league, another heavyweight in Spanish football is about to get relegated this season.
No.
Like, it's crazy. Deportivo, I think they're mid-table in the second division. But this is a team that won a league title. This is a big club but this is the
Mhm.
funny thing. This is the league, bro. This is La Liga for you. Like you just mentioned, bro. This Tebas guy, this league is gonna go to the ground, and the reason it's gonna go to the ground is because at the end of the day, we're not doing anything about it. And until we all come together and actually say, and this is just not Barcelona, but La Liga in general, look at it and say, you know what it is? Forget about Barcelona, because what's happening to Barcelona could be us. Okay? It could be us. And this time, and when it's us, guess what, bro? He's not gonna be merciful. If he's not merciful to Barcelona, you think he's gonna be merciful to us? You understand what I'm saying? We are nothing. Barcelona is a big club. We are nothing. We are fodder. If our club gets relegated tomorrow, they will not care. Tebas will not care. Because that's what's happened to Deportivo. Deportivo were overspending money in the early 2000s, right? And the overspend of money, eventually, when it got to a point where the club started having like financial issues, guess what? They couldn't go out and buy players, the players that they needed to keep them afloat, to keep them in the table, to keep them in the European places, or keep them in the league. And eventually, every single season, they had to keep selling their players until it got to a point where, you know what happened? They got relegated. You understand what I'm saying? Look at Valencia, bro. Valencia were in the Champions League 5 years ago with Dani Parejo, Guedes, Condopia, Coquelin, right? Gabriel Paulista. They had so many good players in their team and were in the top four. Challenging. There were a point where they were challenging in the 17-18 season. They fell off, but they were challenging. You understand what I'm saying, right? Look at the team that they had now. How many of their players are still in that team? Half of the team is gone. Half of their players have been sold or sent out on a free. You want to know why? Because of the salary cap. They can't keep any of those players because they're having issues. And that's why they are where they are now. It's an absolute disgrace. But yeah. But
No,
listen,
I share your sentiment. I'm
yeah,
I'm not a fan of Javier Tebas. When you look at his quotes in the media, you're thinking, why are you saying all this? That this should not be your place and everything. It seems, as you said, main character syndrome. You do not know the what's it called, the president of all the other different leagues, but you do know Javier Tebas. You do,
yeah.
and
Yeah, for sure,
it's
for sure.
ridiculous.
But yeah,
Hmm.
unfortunately, this is who we are. And listen, guys, we're gonna wrap this up because we gotta have another show coming up. True Ballers FC is next. But listen, quickly, Elias, shout out your channel. Tell the people what's coming up on your channel this week.
Yes. So guys, Omar, first, thank you for having me. It was absolutely lovely. We hope to do this many, many more times. Guys, you guys can all find me on Kool-Aid Podcast. That is on my handle on YouTube, on X, on Instagram, and on Twitch at Kule Podcast. I make Barcelona content, watch alongs, match reactions, Barcelona news, and weekly episodes as well. Where I discuss the Barcelona news as well, and hopefully I can have you on my channel as well. We can
Oh
we
yeah,
can
for
talk.
sure, man.
We can have some Barcelona content on my channel as well. But lovely to be here, and hopefully we can have some many more episodes and videos together.
Yeah, so yeah, Barcelona news roundup, ladies and gentlemen. Every single Thursday, you're gonna be catching me and Kule podcast here every single week. We're gonna go run down the news coming out of the club, any stuff that is happening, new things coming out, and basically, match previews and match predictions as well. 'Cause we didn't do the prediction this weekend, but we'll definitely do that next week. But listen, guys, like he said, make sure you guys go subscribe to my guy over here, man. Listen, up and coming YouTuber, guys. He's already at 1K, man. He's already doing his thing. So very, I would highly recommend him. Does a lot of Barca news. Does more news than me, to be fair, because unfortunately I don't really have much time. I try to do as much news as I can, but he's always basically almost daily doing videos. So, or you can always catch him either doing videos or going live. So make sure you guys go out there, check out his stuff for sure. Let me read like these last comments before we get out of here. So Casper says facts. Omar, La Liga is has fallen Deportivo and them fallen from grace. Tebas needs to piss off. Yep, for sure. He says, why do these clubs still vote for Tebas and continue with this president even in the increase in salary? Bro, I don't know, man. This guy has some strong juju in this league. But yeah, man. Listen, guys. We're gonna wrap up. We're gonna redirect to True Ballers FC, the show, guys. It's literally starting right after this, guys. Right after this, we're going straight to True Ballers FC with me and the guys. The guys like Mike's Prime, all of the guys. We're gonna be doing the Premier League show, guys. So make sure you guys go out there and actually make sure you guys pin the comment because we're going live literally after this, guys. And like I always say, like every time we end these videos, guys, big ups to my guy Elias. Kule podcast, big up to you every single time. Like I always say, whenever we end these streams, Visca el Barça and Visca el Catalunya, and peace, you guys. Take care.